History of Sparta. In the ancient world, Sparta was a factory for making warriors. Enemies got scared just by hearing their name. Sparta's rule was brutal. You had to come back from war as a hero with your shield, or come back dead on it. For 300 long years, enemies thought Spartan kings always died like heroes in battle. But that is not the real story. Sparta never told the stories of how those famous kings really died, because some deaths were very cruel, some were weird, and some were so scary it feels like a curse from God, not history. Leonidas I. When Leonidas became king, no one thought he would be a hero in history. He wasn't first in line to be king. He got the throne in a strange way after his brother died. But what he did later, the world still remembers 2,500 years. In 480 BC, Persian King Xerxes invaded Greece with a massive army. Sparta sent King Leonidas to stop him. Leonidas only took 300 warriors. Each one was a father who had a son at home, because Sparta knew they would never come back alive. The mountain path at Thermopylae was lonely. It was so narrow that only a few soldiers could fight at a time. The huge Persian army kept falling off the mountain. For 2 days, Leonidas and his 300 held the path. The Persians kept losing men. Leonidas wasn't just fighting, he was waiting time for Greece to get ready. But bad luck hit on the 3rd day. A local shepherd showed the Persians a secret path behind the mountain. By morning, Leonidas knew they were trapped. He told the other Greek soldiers to leave safely. He kept only the 300 Spartans and 700 Thespians who refused to leave their king. Leonidas knew his fate. The oracle had warned, either Sparta falls or a Spartan king dies. This last fight wasn't a surrender. History says Leonidas went crazy and charged the Persian lines. His goal was to kill Xerxes. He almost did it, and killed some of Xerxes' brothers too. But then, brave Leonidas fell to the ground. Both sides fought hard over his body. The Spartans risked their lives to guard it. In the end, the Persians crushed the last heroes and took the body. King Xerxes was so angry, he cut off Leonidas's head and hung his body on a cross. Pausanias. The one who got revenge for that defeat was Pausanias. But he was not a simple hero like Leonidas. His character was quite complex. In the Battle of Plataea in 479 BC, at the Battle of Plataea, he destroyed the Persian army. He was a successful commander, but trouble started after the war. After such a big win, Pausanias got full of himself. He stopped living like a simple Spartan and started wearing fancy Persian clothes and throwing big Persian-style parties. He even wrote secret letters to King Xerxes. The deal was, give Greece to Persia, get power and a beautiful Persian princess in return. Sparta did not allow this betrayal. When proof was found that he was helping the slaves to rebel, Sparta took measures to arrest him. For fear of being arrested, Pausanias took shelter in the temple of goddess Athena at the top of the mountain of Sparta. In ancient Greece, it was a huge sin to drag someone out of a holy temple. The Spartans played a smart trick. They didn't want to break the temple's rules, but they wouldn't let the cheater go either. You know what they did? They blocked the doors with bricks and stones. They broke part of the roof so he would suffer in the sun and rain. The saddest part is that Pausanias' own mother brought the first stone to seal the door. No food, no water. The great hero who once saved the country was now starving in his own city's temple. When he was almost dead, the Spartans opened the door and dragged his body out so the temple wouldn't be impure. Cleombrotus I became king of a Sparta that hadn't lost a big war in 200 years. The Spartan army was known as the undefeated power of the ancient world. In 371 BC, Cleombrotus fought Thebes. His army was not afraid of losing. But the Theban general Epaminondas had other plans. That smart general had studied Spartan tactics for years. He knew to beat Sparta, he had to break the rules. He lined up his soldiers 50 rows deep on the left side. The sacred band, 150 pairs of brave warriors, led them. His real goal wasn't just to fight the whole army. He wanted to kill Cleombrotus in a few minutes. The huge Theban group slammed into the Spartan right side. The Spartans had never faced such power. Before they knew it, the Thebans broke their defense and got inside. Right at the start of the fight, Cleombrotus was cut into pieces. Lysander. In 395 BC, Lysander died in a normal fight in Spartan history. He had ended the long 27-year war. He was so powerful that even the kings of Sparta feared him. When Athens, Thebes, and Corinth joined together in an alliance against Sparta, Lysander was told to attack from one side. The rule was to wait for King Pausanias' army, but Lysander got there a bit early. Because of his pride and overconfidence, he didn't wait. He attacked the city alone. The Theban soldiers inside suddenly opened the gates and attacked Lysander's men. Lysander died right there. His army ran away. Later, King Pausanias came, saw the pile of bodies, and didn't fight. He just made a deal to take Lysander's body back. Agesilaus II ruled for 40 years. He was born with one lame leg. By Sparta's cruel rules, they usually left weak babies on a mountain to die. But because he was royal, he lived. Not only that, he finished the tough military training and became a top commander. But when he was 84, Sparta was in trouble. They had no money to pay soldiers. Imagine an 84-year-old king with a bad leg going to fight a civil war in Egypt just as a hired fighter for money. The man who once made all of Greece shake was now fighting for someone else just for cash. He won the war and got paid well. But on the way home, his body died on a beach in Libya. His soldiers were stuck on the African coast with a dead king. They knew the body would rot on the long sea trip, so they used a trick. They bought lots of honey and wax. They put Agesilaus' body in a jar of honey and sealed it with wax so it wouldn't spoil. Brasidas. In 422 BC, the Spartan general Brasidas died in the Battle of Amphipolis. He was completely different from other Spartans. He was skilled in diplomacy and clever. He was convincing Athens' allies to join him, which cut off their food supply. So the Athenian general Cleon came to stop him. Brasidas attacked so hard that the Athenians ran. General Cleon died while running away, but right at the end of the win, Brasidas got hit in the chest. He was still alive when they brought him to the city. He heard that his army won, and only after hearing this news of victory did he die. Cleomenes I. Cleomenes I was a mystery. He ruled for about 30 years, changing the oracle by giving bribes, getting involved in the politics of other countries. All in all, he made a lot of enemies. Because of his sins, he ran away from Sparta. But later, the rulers brought him back for a secret reason. When he got back, he was put in jail. But in jail, he lost his mental balance. One day, he scared a guard and got a sharp knife. And what happened next is skin crawling. The guards were watching in surprise. Cleomenes, with a calm mind, was cutting his own meat into pieces starting from his ankle towards the top. Feet, thighs, belly, cutting everything with his own hands, he died covered in blood. The people of Sparta said that God gave him this punishment for insulting the goddesses of the temple. The people of Athens said that he drank too much wine, so he became mad. But do you know the secret? It wasn't suicide. Sparta's enemies killed him cruelly and made it look like suicide. Callicratidas. In 406 BC, in the naval battle of Arginusae, Callicratidas of Sparta sank into the sea. When Lysander was running the navy of Sparta by bringing gold from the Persian prince Cyrus, Callicratidas hated it. He said, "I won't sit like a dog at Persia's door for money." This attitude caused his end. When they fought at Arginusae, Athens' tactics started beating the Spartans. An Athenian ship pushes into Callicratidas' main ship. The ship broke from the hit. Callicratidas was thrown into the water of the sea, where his body was lost. After that, his body was never found again. Agis III. When Alexander won the world and went east, leaving Greece empty of soldiers, Spartan king Agis III thought, "This is my chance." He took money from Persia. He told other Greek cities to rebel against Alexander, but Alexander's general Antipater crushed them at the Battle of Megalopolis. When Alexander got the news of this war, he laughed and told it is a mice fight. But the way Agis fought showed true Spartan blood. Early in the fight, both his legs were hurt, so he couldn't stand. But a Spartan king never gives up. He went down on his knees. Even like that, he kept fighting with his sword. The enemies saw his scary look and started throwing spears from far away. Finally, a soldier threw a javelin in his chest. He died on the battlefield. With his death, Sparta's last dream of freedom died too. Draco. Draco wasn't a Spartan king. He was a lawmaker from Athens, but his name shows up in Sparta's history because they loved his strict rules. In 621 BC, he wrote the first cruel laws for Athens. In Draco's law, even stealing a cabbage had the punishment of death. When asked why he gave death for everything, Draco said, "For small crimes, I could not think of a smaller punishment, and for big crimes, there is no bigger punishment than death." Spartans loved this logic because they liked order and strictness. Even 2,600 years later, when we see a very harsh rule, we call it draconian. But the story of how this scary man died is strange and funny. Draco once went to a theater on Aegina Island to be honored. When he walked in, thousands of people were happy to see him. The rule of ancient Greece was that if you wanted to show someone respect, you threw your hat and body cloak towards him. Loving Draco, all the people in the theater together started throwing their cloaks, coats, and hats towards him. Draco was standing in the middle, accepting those gifts with a smile. But there were so many clothes that he got buried under them. When they moved the clothes pile, they found that the man who ordered death for thousands had died of suffocation under the clothes his fans gave him. Draco's death proves that love can kill you too. The Spartan kings might not have forgiven anyone, but they left amazing stories of history. Tell us in the comments which Spartan king's death scared you the most.